So at Imperial College London, we're one of the top 10 universities in the world, and actually we're extremely research intensive as well. So actually, as a CIO in the technology function and leading the technology function, you've kind of got two hats on a bit, right? You've got the piece around running the organisation and delivering for the business, so to speak, but then also you need to enable all of that research and teaching, and you need to actually put power into the researchers and the academics for them to carry out their research. We're a STEM-focused university, so it's very much about empowering teams and being quite federated, but at the same time, then running the organisation so it's just seamless and we can drive like that world-leading student experience and a world-leading employee experience as well. I guess really what it comes down to for Imperial is, and for me in that role, is you have to kind of keep those two hats going, and you have to know when you can drive things more centrally and when you can sort of enable and take away the friction so that the teaching and the research can just carry on, and then what you can do to kind of put the tools and the technology in the hands of academics so that they can, be the amazing, superheroes that they are in terms of driving that research and teaching.
And to build on that, at London Business School, we're also a top 10 business school. We're ranked in the top 10 of the MBA FT rankings every year. And on one hand, we can think of it as a relatively simple organisation. We're just one faculty, we've got one dean, we just teach business. But on the other hand, a little bit like Imperial, we drive research. We're very much a research-driven university or business school. We have the day-to-day operations of delivering student experiences and degrees. We have our executive education business as well, which does both open programs to anyone that applies or sent by their organisation, but also closed programs, custom programs. And so suddenly now you've got a pretty complex business. Going in, I thought it's going to be pretty straightforward and realised it's not that straightforward. We've been really successful for a very long time. So the impetus to dramatically change the way we work is not quite there. You need a bit of crisis to be able to drive that. And so how do you take the organisation through that kind of transformation when it's kind of been working okay? People aren't happy with the way the tech isn't necessarily up to date, and taking the business on that journey is difficult. I don't think it's difficult in most organisations. The higher ed bit, probably the twist comes when you're then engaging with academics. So you have, imagine you're a chief finance officer and you've got some of the leading professors in the field of finance. You're a chief technology or chief information officer and you've got some of the leading professors in the world of digital transformation sitting around the same table. But their experiences are very different as well. They haven't actually worked in delivering enterprise IT. They've worked on doing research on IT. And that's different when you do research on Microsoft as opposed to a relatively small organization. So taking people on that journey and getting the balance between supporting day-to-day operations and iterating and dramatic transformation, and even holding differing topics like frictionless yet secure or stable foundations in order to deliver agility. They're going, well, hold on, those contradict each other. It's because they've not seen it necessarily done in practice at home. And so in a way, you then start to become an educator of the educators. And that's a very difficult tension to try and manage.